Okay, Arvel, take it away. It's starting.
Let's do it. Can you give me share option, please?
Yes, sir. You can do it now.
Thank you. It's been a pretty busy week. You guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Awesome. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. We've had just an update for the team. We had some good meetings early on in the week. We met with app developer and was able to really talk through the final tweaks we need for the app so that we can then have it be our instance, right? So what we've been working on and utilizing and testing is the beta instance of the app, which was not on our branded workspace, but now we've talked about what is needed for the branded workspace. And so we're gonna, push this out in phases because obviously there's a front end development aspect of the app, which is client facing. And then there's the back end, which is what will run the operations of the business. So for running the operations of the business, obviously I don't want us to just do that quickly because we have a lot of stuff that's already fine tuned and dialed in. So Frosty and I are gonna do that in a slow burn, decommission some things as we ramp up new things. Because we're basically gonna be able to get rid of Slack. We're gonna be able to do pretty much everything inside the app, including, how our website works and our forms on our website and our automation, and all of that is going to be done through the app. So pretty exciting stuff. But since everything has been working and dialed in, we're not going to just turn that off. We're going to kind of pick and choose, test, and then release specific features. But the first feature we're going to be releasing obviously is the client-facing portals. So we talked about what's needed there. And so that's what we're working on right now so that he can actually just release our branded version so that we can then invite all the clients and then have them start, utilizing the app. So I think we came to the decision on our call earlier on the week that it just made more sense to just, get him to release that version for us, since this testing version, same functionality, but I figured why have our clients be, in one environment only to have to swap out maybe a week later, week and a half later. So pretty exciting. Pretty happy with just all the functionality Frosty and I has tested out. I think it's going to be exactly what we're looking for. So out of that, obviously, there's some tasks that came out of it. Frosty's going to be working on a wireframe to really give that to the developer and show them exactly how we want the back end side of our business to work. So that's just an update for the team, what's kind of happened, with some of the meetings that we've had earlier on in the week. And now we get to the usual business as usual cadence, right? So let's get started. Frost, I think I asked you about this, but I didn't know if anything's happened since last time we talked. The YouTube text campaign, is that something that we're going to kick off anytime soon, or do you want me to push that to an upcoming week?
Just push that further. We have the email campaign set up, and then they're cold, the team, the closers are like, they know what they're doing. I think we're good right now.
Okay, so I'll swap that out for a future week. Are we still needing this action item for us to have the VA increase the speed of the website?
Yeah, let's do that after we launch this next funnel, because we keep just adding funnels and we have to redo it on each page. So
okay,
yeah,
cool. So we'll reprioritize that. Morgan, for you, any update on any course filming? Okay.
No updates on any of those things that haven't been done, such as customer service and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Honestly, there should be like, Ryan, these are your tasks. Email me separately if you could. How that work?
I can absolutely do that, and I can also text you, and I can harass you.
No, I don't like text messages. Won't work because I'm just gonna. I'm gonna see it, and I'm just gonna look at it, and I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. So it's probably.
I'll start emailing you, but I'll harass you. I think it's more fun to harass you because when I agree multiple times, that's when you're like, okay, I gotta just get it done. So cool. Any update on the finding data for the cold callers? I think you and Zessa had a touch base on that. No.
No. No.
Cool. I know I think you ironed out the flow and everything for the other funnel, but I know you said you also wanted to create an outline for the events funnel. Is that outline kind of, I know you started talking about it. And I don't,
Outlines there, it still needs to get worked on. We're pushing out fundraising. It should be on the site tomorrow, Frosty?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So the funnel itself is
Excuse
up
me.
and running. Is the outline done though? I think the outline's done, right? For the events funnel?
It
What
is,
you want?
I just need to like write it over, look at it again, but it's pretty much done.
Alright. Yeah, so I'll put that at 80%. Is the meeting for the agency still locked in for tomorrow? I know it got pushed from Monday to
Yes, it
Thursday.
is.
All right, cool. So I'll follow up with you after that's done. Zessa, how are we doing with that splash thing?
I have 2 different editors working on it, but they haven't given me a product yet, but
Okay.
I'll send it through as soon as possible.
Okay, cool. I have it at 50% based on our last conversation. Is that accurate or should I increase it?
I mean, they're working on it, so the other editor told me he will send it to me last night, but I guess it didn't come through, so I'll be following up today.
Okay.
Yeah.
The organization of what we want to load into the portal. I know you and Ryan were kind of talking about which posts that we want to put in. We're deprioritizing, obviously.
My question is, we're not doing that anymore because we're not bringing people to this version, right? So there's no point of doing that until we get to the next version.
That's the loading of the data, but you and Zessa still need to align on what needs to be loaded into each specific portal.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did prioritize
I
that.
actually already have.
I did prioritize that because we're not gonna have the buyers in for.
Yeah. I know, but I know Zessa had a kind of an idea of what was supposed to go and where, right, Zessa? From what you and I was talking about.
No, if it's just based on the Facebook group, I can easily put them in specific, like different documents. Like I already have a document for the trucking, like every post that is about trucking automation and stuff like that. I'll just clean it up.
Okay, I'm gonna push these tasks either way because ultimately, once we have the portal up and running, then we can kind of just finalize, and then just load it all in. This one I had on the list, but we kind of decided the training video on how to use the portal from the conversation I had with Frosty. We're gonna wait till the actual portal version is up and running and live, and then we'll just use that. So I'm gonna push that to the following week because it'll probably be one of the later tasks. So this is some of the stuff that we had from the meeting that you guys had with Luke. The deep fakes, is this something that we want to have on the docket for this week, next week? I didn't know what the time frame was for getting
that deep fakes thing. Like we need more content to be able to do it.
Okay, so push that out a couple weeks.
No, I don't think like it's like a while. Like we need to specifically like find someone who can do that. You know what I mean? So
okay. So I'll keep it on the list, but I'll just, push it out for like.
It was more just like a fun idea. Like I don't know how reasonable we're gonna be able to do it, but there is a possibility if we find someone.
All right, so let's revisit it at the end of the year and see if it's still worth even tracking.
It's just that Ryan paid an awful lot of money to get Luke's help and to do what Luke says that we need to do, and so pushing that out maybe 2 or 3 months, like, okay, but it needs to get done.
No, not the not the content creation, but that the deep fake thing was just for like fun. Like I was just like,
but it was either deep fake or Ryan has to spend a bunch of time making videos, which he doesn't have time to do. So it has to be the deep fakes.
That's why we need to have someone who, like, have someone who specifically goes and creates a giant list of like stuff to do, right? And then like a giant list of exactly what Ryan needs to talk about, and then Ryan goes and looks at it, and then we create all the content in like an hour for the whole month. That's how it has to be. That makes sense.
Okay, so we need to hire somebody for that?
Probably, or like the Luke guy, like it should have been included in that or something. Like I don't really know what we paid him for besides a little bit of consulting.
Yeah, it was $9,000 for him to do a bunch of stuff. So
So
Yeah.
maybe we can have a follow-up.
Where are his deliverables, right? That's the question.
Yeah, so Angie, I'll take a note. Let's maybe have a follow-up.
I'm also following up with him when I get back from London about a couple things. So
Cool, because obviously either we can follow up with what he can do for us, or since it's a recommendation that comes from him, perhaps he might be the one to actually facilitate in it. Because yeah, that's the it sounds like he's giving us direction, guidance.
so the deepfake was I had never even heard of that, and Frost is the one that brought it up, which was a great idea. So it's not. I think it's something that.
Great idea. It's just like a joke though, but like it would be cool if we could find someone who specializes in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because basically what they
Alright,
do
so-
is like they need a, like at minimum 500 hours of Ryan's face talking. And then the computer algorithm goes and looks at like it needs 1,000 photos of Ryan's face and then 500 hours of video, I believe is like the average. And then they can use the algorithm to basically make Ryan say anything on video and it like morphs his face to like say it.
Wow, got it.
So that's what the
So it's either that.
yeah.
That's
That's why I was
our
saying
only
like
option because
yeah. The better option
I was
is
just saying that is our only option because Ryan's not going to be able to get on there all the time and make posts.
well, that's why like the easiest option, like how actual like people do it is they go and they create like 30 days worth of content. So basically the idea is you go and you break down, okay, on Mondays, it's Manic Monday, it's Taco Tuesday, it's like you know, right, like whatever, like you name each thing. So that way there's a specific type of piece of content that you create for that day of the week. And then you break that down into 30 days and then you decide how many places are we posting. Okay, so we need five versions of the Monday. Like because we need a TikTok, we need a face like a Instagram, we need a story, and we need like a LinkedIn or whatever, and then that gives you basically like, okay, so I need 200 pieces of content. Let's like have someone write all the scripts. Ryan just goes through and just reads all the scripts, and you either like have Ryan do it or like that's how you optimize.
Okay, Arbel.
Yeah.
We're being honest.
Yeah, for sure. I like it. So at some point, Arbel, we're going to need to keep our head on the swivel and hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we can at least organize a content structure of what is needed according to what Frosty just said. And
Okay.
then based on at least having an organized like chart of what needs to be done, then we can easily be like, okay, we need a script writer to write scripts, and then we need 30 different scripts or whatever it is. And then once we have that, Ryan can film that. And it doesn't always have to, I mean, yes, it's gonna be his face, but he can literally, because they're gonna be short scripts, he can film that within an hour or two. The hard part is going to be creating the structure and getting the scripts written. So yeah, we could definitely outsource that structure and get.
Great. Thanks. Thanks,
yeah,
Frosty.
and in there can be like the teams that are good at that type of stuff use like a Envato Elements template where all the posts look the same as well. So they all have like themed colors and other things like that. And then a lot of them are what they'll do to fill in the gaps and make it easy is it's just pictures of Ryan and then or pictures of a Lamborghini or pictures of a lion and then a quote and then it says dash Ryan Morgan on it. So like that's another type of easy content that we could fill in. So if we had multiple days of that being posted, then Ryan only has to make 20 quick videos for the month. And then everything else is pictures of him and stuff like that. So he could just hire a photographer to go around with him and get a bunch of random pictures.
So my question is.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we should definitely at least I know you guys are working on the 2 last funnels. My suggestion is let's get those 2 last funnels launched and then let's prioritize this structurally so that we can at least get it up and running by the ending of November.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
Yeah, because we probably won't be able to.
Because the structure is what we need, and then we can just get Zessa to get us a script writer and get someone to follow Ryan around, take some pictures. But we need the structure, and we need to at least understand what we have to write and what needs to happen. Once we have that in place, we can just plug and play, get people to get it done. So I'll keep this one on the task as for me. I'll keep you on it as well, Angie, and then out of this, we'll probably have a couple subtasks after you and I maybe meet and go through it when you come back from London. And then from there, I can probably say, okay, let me reach out to Frost and get some additional structural guidance. And then once we finalize it, then we can just say, hey, Sessa, we need a script writer. This is all the stuff we need them to write. And then we can kind of have that be done in parallel.
Great, sounds good.
Awesome, awesome.
I have a patient to take care of. I've got to run, guys. Thank
Okay.
you.
No problem.
Bye.
Nice to see you, Angie.
You too.
Zessa, can you give me an update? I think Ryan's walked away, but I know there was a task for him to collect wins to send to you for the
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah, so he said that he's still gathering them, but I
Okay.
already like I started with a document to like send Luke.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I changed Ryan's profile picture, because that's one of the things that Luke asked, right?
Okay.
Like he wants, yeah. So there are things that Ryan needs to do for that mission with Luke. Like he's got 10 items.
Okay.
Oh.
I might follow up with you just to make sure I have those, because I want to make sure I track those as well.
Okay.
For Angie, she had the task to begin working on the driver recruitment blueprint training. She said she's going to get that started after her trip to London. So that's just a task that's going to happen. And then, obviously any feedback and the lessons learned from there will be shared with the team. This was a new task that came out of the meeting I had with Frost, which was start collecting data. Actually, this one came from Ryan. Start collecting data on trucking fleets, Airbnb, and Turo automation.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
something?
I already asked my team about this, and they already started yesterday. We have added like 50 property management companies on the sheet. And do you want a copy? Do you want a link to the sheet, or because Ryan?
Yeah. If you can give me the link to the sheet, that'd be great. What
Okay.
percentage of completion do you want to put that at?
Well, I'm not
Since they
entirely
just started.
sure, because there's no like target goal for each, but like we'll just like continue adding, adding leads to that, as as long as Ryan tells us to stop.
Got it. I
Yes.
would say maybe we connect with Ryan and just kind of have at least the first benchmark, because obviously we're going to start utilizing that data, right? So if you have 200 leads of a specific type, is that enough to say we can get started? I don't know.
Okay.
So we can get a benchmark from Ryan, and then we can consider that the initial task complete, and then it just goes into business as usual, where you just keep doing it.
Okay.
And then most of these tasks are for next week. Some of the stuff that's coming up, but I moved this one, so I'm just going to move this all the way down, since Frost said we can do this at a later time. So this one I also moved. So Frosty's working on the app wireframe. That's something, Frost, I have as a next week task for you to get started on. Is that still good for you, Frost?
Yeah, that can work.
Cool. What's the status update? You'd had me add these. I didn't know if you were working on them this week or next week. If they're this week tasks, I'll move them up. The YouTube landing page for Paul for his YouTube ads.
Yeah, that needs to be this week.
That needs to be this week. Okay, cool.
That's the main one.
Have you started on that one already?
No, because I was doing one for Wayne, and then we had like the ad account get shut down, so that's why I added that. That's why I sent you that. But we mainly we're focusing on this fundraising funnel. So.
Got it. So is the fundraising funnel the trucking fundraising funnel?
No, that's just specifically finding vendors for Airbnb, Turo, and or like other fundraising companies or whatever. So
the additional task that you gave me for create a trucking fundraising page, that's different.
That's probably different. Yeah, we might do that next week or this week. I don't know for sure.
All right, so I'll push that to next week, because I had it as a next week task. What's the status on just the funnel? I think it's tomorrow that one's launching, correct?
Yeah, probably tonight technically. So
okay. And then you had me add a task for a service provider. Is that something that's a next week task, right?
the service provider page is the fundraising page technically.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that's this week's task then.
Yeah. It's just,
Cool.
yeah, we were calling it service provider. Now we're calling it fundraising.
Awesome. All right. So I'll get that added to this week. And so percentage of completion, probably 95 until you launch it.
One more time. Sorry. It cut
Percentage
out.
of completion, 95 until you launch it tonight.
Yeah. Just need
Cool.
to edit the videos. Otherwise it's ready.
And so for the Paul stuff, was that still a target for this week? You can get that done later on this week?
Yeah. I'll do that
Okay.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, so I'll follow
Yeah,
up
I
with you
got
on
it. I
that.
gave him access to the Google Ads account and stuff. So he's working on it, and then we're gonna review it and stuff. And we got to figure out the
Okay.
tracking. That's the main thing we got to figure out is the Google tag tracking, which neither him or I really know how to do. So we gotta do that too. So
Got
let
it.
me just do a separate task of launching Paul's YouTube ads, like as a separate task. And that should be ready by like next week, early next week. If not sooner. So,
Okay.
By the way, Frost,
yeah.
are you planning to look for the team, for example, that will make the deep fakes, or can I like ask?
Yeah, no, you can look,
this
you
guy
can,
that
you
I
could
know?
ask around, see if there's if anybody will do it. Last time I looked into it, it's pretty expensive, but now it's been like a year, so it could be way cheaper. So we'll have to see. But that would be cool if we could literally just have Ryan just read a bunch of scripts and then it goes and auto animates his face like saying it. That'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that I know this guy. He's a video editor and stuff like that. The same kind of stuff that you probably do. But yeah, so and he's got a team also already set up, so maybe he can help with that. But I'll ask him if he knows how
Yeah,
to
well,
make that anyway.
deepfake uses like AI algorithm stuff, so it's usually like a
Yeah.
specialized person that knows how to do that type of stuff. But so
Okay.
we'd have to, if you wanted to Google and stuff like how to do it. But I think the easier route is just get a bunch of pictures of Ryan and like do that. Like if you look at most entrepreneurs' pages, they just have pictures of them with quotes and things written under like captions, and then they have a few videos every now and then. And so really all the actual person has to do is just film those like 20 videos for the month. Everything, all the other posts are literally just created by VAs, like by using stock images of Ryan or stock images of like lions or cars or planes or like private jets and other things like that. Like that's what most of those people do. There's probably a specific VA team on Fiverr that does that.
Deep fakes.
No, not the deep fakes, but like the it's like called social media management, basically. So.
Oh, I mean, that's what I've been doing. Have you seen the posts recently from like the different pages?
No,
I mean, I've been posting and I have an editor and she's making like banners for me and stuff.
Okay,
and that's
cool.
what I've been posting.
Okay, cool.
But I've just been like reposting Ryan's posts.
Yeah.
Okay, on where though? That's the main question. On the Facebook group or on
Facebook, like the content I'm taking are from the website and the Facebook group, and then I'm posting them on the different pages. Sorry, ADC Network and Alden Consulting. Like the reach is actually pretty low, but
yeah, because that's
just
technically the problem with the
constantly
organic
posting.
stuff is like it's just for the amount of, that's why we have to VA it as best as possible, because otherwise the amount of effort, it's just not worth it. It's worth it instead for Ryan to like run ads and stuff. But
yeah.
But yeah, if we could somehow make his posts inspirational and educational, so like versus just
on his personal page.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
his
start
personal
posting my
stuff.
personal.
Yeah.
Because that's what Luke guy was
Yeah.
mainly talking about, right? Is like the
Yeah,
personal
you
stuff.
post it for personal, that's what traffic is.
Yeah, anything you post on the personal, especially if it has his image on it, definitely get that on his personal.
Yeah. All right.
Personal.
So one of the tasks that you had me put on Frost was the separation of the YouTube versus the trucking leads. Is that for the next week or the following week?
Yeah, where Zessa and I are like going to work on, or like I'm working on that, but mainly just trying, we reached out to the guy to see if, yeah. Yeah, we reached out to the guy to see how, if they can help us separate it. So that's just gonna be
Okay.
this week or next week.
Well, if it started this week, then I'm just gonna move it as a task that we're already working on,
Okay.
which is good. And then, so is this the same thing with the custom API to have leads plus the questions?
One more time, where, I can't see the screen, hold on a second, there we go, what was it?
To see if they can set up the custom API to have the
That's
lead.
different
plus the-
because there's two
Yeah.
different networks that we post ads on. One of them, we just need to separate, have them fix the API to separate the YouTube versus trucking. The other one, we have to ask them if there's a way to actually, which I called the guy back and he didn't answer. So I'll have to see if Ryan has his email or something. Otherwise, I'll just have to.
And so that's a task for next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Otherwise,
create an
Tess and
outline
I
of
are
content.
working around it by, she's gonna send me like a spreadsheet and we're gonna upload them, like we're gonna import them manually like that.
Yeah, I remember you were mentioning that. Zessa is the one that told me there was an export spreadsheet, yeah. The outline and content for the FAQ page, is that a next week task or a following week after that task?
Probably next week.
Okay.
Or the week after. Probably the week after.
Well, I'll leave it on for next week, and when we meet next week, we can just figure out if you're gonna keep it on as a next week task. I know next week's gonna be busy, plus you guys will be traveling. So we may just push that to the following week. And then building and uploading the content to the FB page, obviously we wanna make sure, so those two go hand in hand. That's all the additional tasks from the meetings that we've had this week, plus what's already been on the list. I moved the task that we asked to move to subsequent weeks. So the data that has to do with loading up the ADC portal and then obviously increasing the speed of the website. Is there anything else besides what we just discussed with Angie for A, for what's for Luke, and B, for the structure for content? Is there anything else we want to get added to the list that needs to be tracked for this week or next week?
No, I think we're good right now.
Okay. So then the only other question that I had was, at this point next week, you guys are traveling on the 3rd, correct?
Yeah, we can make the meeting on Thursday or something like that.
Yeah, that's basically what I was gonna say. Can we push the meeting, Zessa, for next week to Thursday instead?
Yes. Same time.
Yeah, unless you guys want to do earlier.
No, it's too later.
All right, yeah, so same time.
No,
Cool,
same time is
that's,
fine. Yeah.
that's all I have on my list. Morgan, do you have anything before we go through?
Yeah, the only other thing
round?
is like Zessa, with when we're trying to hunt for these service providers, I would say like it's a way to find Turo people. Like, there's got to be a way to find the people that have all the exotic cars that are already making a ton of money doing that. They're probably like on Instagram and stuff. Or
Okay.
there could be a way to just look them up on the app Turo to like see who's got a bunch of cars. And then we got to figure out how do we get their emails and or their social medias or their name or number. And then we're just going to start emailing the fuck out of them. Or then we're going to start calling them like after we email them like 10 times, then we're going to start calling them.
Okay.
Same thing with like the Airbnb people. So like that, like I said, like if you can find anyone to help with data with that, because that's really like our final frontier is getting more vendors that we could trust to work for. Other than that, we're just gonna keep ticking away, guys.
Sounds good to me. So obviously one last thing for the team. I know Zessa, I saw you did a little bit of a post in there, but pretty much everybody should have access to the app. So when you have time, go in there, just start playing around with it. specifically, you know, communication. Myself and Frosty are going to continue to test it, but we're going to end up using that app as our main channel for communication. So I want to make sure people are in there. If you have issues accessing any of the work groups or things of that nature, let me know. But definitely just start using the app and then giving feedback to myself and Frosty. That's all I got.
Cool. Brick by brick squad. It's all done.